By flashlight, by candlelight, even by headlight. The work here in St. Peter continues tonight. This is Paul Eckhoff's boyhood home. He's here from Apple Valley helping his mom clean up after this devastating storm.
You know, I'm here to... My mom was pretty shook up. She's came down for her more than anything else.
More than 500 homes destroyed. The ones that are still standing are being saved with the help of strangers. These are volunteer firefighters and construction workers trying to cover gaping holes in a roof. There's rain in the forecast.
And they've been working since this morning, long haul.
But it's maybe too cold, I don't know.
Without heat, Joan Hawkinson says she'll stay here all night by candlelight. When the sun comes up, she'll be back outside.
Done today. There was piles of garbage in there this morning.
Glass and wood.
Glass, shingles.
On any night, Patrick's is a popular gathering spot. Tonight, it provides food and a forum for stories of this storm.
You know, we'll be okay for the next month, but it's the month after, and we're rebuilding.
Nighttime in a town destroyed. The only work allowed after dark is here at the town's grain elevator.
5 minutes to happen and 5 days to clean up.
$500,000 of seed must be cleaned up quickly. Otherwise, area farmers will be the next victims of the tornado.
Still at it. Tired, yeah.
Residents battled bravely against rain, sleet, and snow before Mother Nature again powered this town.
Hate to give you the news, but we're going to have to evacuate the town. You cannot stay with bad weather here.
I sure hope so. It's really bad.
No matter how much some want to, they know they can't simply just walk away.
Disaster, a tornado in town. And now we trying to get things back together again. Small town America, everybody pitches in and helps each other. We have hired electrical and structural engineer, building inspectors. My name is Linda Lane.
At the request of the mayor.
Mayor? Mayor of Comfrey. So I'm not going to do that over the a big responsibility. More than I ever expected. Comfrey, very viable. We had a very viable downtown. Me too. I'm waiting for the normal day, and I don't know when that'll ever be. Same day would if they knew that there was going to be some help for them to rebuild. You know, it's going to cost us a lot of money to get back up and going again. If the help isn't there for the residents too to rebuild their homes, what kind of city are we going to have? And we can't do it on our own. I didn't realize that, Marion.
They gathered at this tiny country church to give thanks for their survival.
It's been a miracle of God's providence that no one was injured more than they were.
This was a regularly scheduled Lenten service. It is the first normal time these tornado victims have had since Sunday.
Well, to be together with our friends, family.
The brick and mortar of Faith Lutheran and Salem Lutheran churches have fallen, but the faith of the people of Comfrey has not stumbled.
I'm sure that our faith is the rock that's going to hold us together and keep us going.
One night of comfort and healing in a week filled with pain.
Lord Almighty, grant us a quiet night and peace at last.
It looks like a war zone. I can't get over it.
The first wave of volunteers is working to return this war zone to a place of learning. Busloads of alumni are expected to help this weekend.
It takes a lot of your heart out of you. I think this, I mean, we're going to find out, you know, people talk about alumni and talk about support to the college, and I think this is a great opportunity because I know we have good people at this institution, and I'm not worried a bit about it getting back.
I'm a senior this year, and I want to finish up and move on, and it's sad to leave like this.
Mary Edwards' daughter attends Gustavus.
This was once a beautiful, beautiful camp, but it will be again. It will be. I just know it will be.
I'm cleaning up over at Gustavus. I'm from Carlton myself, but, you know, got hit by a tornado.
It is backbreaking work cleaning up the campus.
Anybody who's sitting around at home thinking, wow, at least it's not my college, well, they should be here because it could have been their college.
Help has arrived from more than in Midwestern colleges.
I'll tell you, if it happened to St. John's, I mean, we'd be devastated, you know, so it's nice to help out another school.
Well, what if it happened to us?
Well, all of the MIAC schools have offered help, especially through the league office. They were ready to send 400 students down here.
Well, we figured it's a good thing to do because we'd want the same thing for us.
Schools used to battling one another on the field are now helping one another.
One of the guys here earlier said, I take back every bad word said about Carlton, so I guess this is a unifying experience.
I had a tornado that just came from right across the street. Came in here, we all ran in the shelter. One guy tried making it through the door. I had to pull it in through the door because the wind was getting pretty strong. One of the few trailer courts in town.
Nothing. There's nothing there.
I just pray like hell.
Nobody knows. They're more than likely cable TV, that kind of stuff. You got to assume the worst.
And we knew something was going over. We could feel the house just shaking. And the pressure, the wind pressure was terrible. So we knew it was a tornado.
But I didn't realize it could possibly be that bad.
It's going to be a long night.
Yes, it will.
Everything. My clothes are all over the ground here. Everything's gone.
Kimberly.
What are you doing?
Just giving away flashlights for now to get people going. They can pay for them later.
They were kicked out because of the storm or what?
No, because of the spring break. They can't stay in the dorms. They had to leave.
That's the main thing. The Lord let us live. We can always replace the stuff.
It's not just homes and businesses laying in ruins in Comfrey. The small town's churches were flattened as well. Tonight, tornado victims found comfort in worship in a nearby congregation. Channel 5's Bob McNaney is live with that story. Bob?
Vanessa, these are the ruins of Faith Lutheran Church. It is one of two churches in this town destroyed by the tornado. Tonight, some of its parishioners took what could be the first step back to a normal life. They went to church. They gathered at this tiny country church to give thanks for their survival.
It's been a miracle of God's providence that no one was injured more than they were.
This was a regularly scheduled Lenten service. It is the first normal time these tornado victims have had since Sunday.
We'll be together with our friends. Family.
The brick and mortar of Faith Lutheran and Salem Lutheran churches have fallen, but the faith of the people of Comfrey has not stumbled.
I'm sure that our faith is the rock that's going to hold us together and keep us going.
One night of comfort and healing in a week filled with pain.
Lord Almighty, grant us a quiet night and peace at last.
For the past several days, we've shown you the images of a disaster. Now we want you to listen for just a moment. Now that the town is evacuated at night again under cover of darkness, this is the silence or the sound of a disaster. Reporting live from Comfrey, Bob McNaney, Channel Eyewitness News.
Our crews in southern Minnesota will continue to have updates on the people affected by the tornadoes. Look for more live reports tomorrow on Eyewitness News.
Thousands of
Contact Minneapolis departure.
The traffic, the lines, the security checks, the crowds. There is axing about air travel. For some, though, it is more than just a hassle. It is a paralyzing journey into fear. A fear intensified by crash scenes and images of death.
Nobody understands, and they all say the same thing. You just get on the plane and go, Francine. And why are you worried?
For Francine Merrill, flying is a white-knuckled, nerve-wracking experience.
I'd like to be able to go.
She dreams of visiting
Europe,
but gets no closer than the travel agency.
There is where I want to be.
But her fears won't let her go.
It feels like I have no control over it.
Stop banging on the door, man. You're not home.
It's the same for the tough corrections officer they call Grease.
I can be strong in any part of life that you need me to be, but when it comes to getting on a plane, I don't know what it is.
A month ago, Gary Foreman's fear kept him from flying to Maryland to be at his dying father's side. He drove and arrived too late to say goodbye.
That was tough. But if I wasn't afraid of flying, I think I could have went and visited a few times and had my last words in, you know.
For Gary and Ian, the time has come to confront their fears head-on.
Welcome. It's really great to have you all here.
This is Northwest Airlines' Wings program, an intensive weekend session tailored to the anxious flyer. It is a big first step for Francine.
I was absolutely shaking inside, just like it is when I get on a plane.
And the first thing we always do is celebrate right away the fact that we're all here in the room. So, congratulations. I know
students share worries and fears. Vicki Schiller's never been before.
Well, I just got a new job, and my boss wants me to start flying.
And Polly Hart's story makes even seasoned flyers cringe. 10 years ago, an engine fell off her plane.
All of a sudden, the plane's big noise and started doing a little this and a little that.
It is an unlikely group that will board a flight together in 39 hours.
This is a journey, and you get to control how far you go.
When people are scared, when people are in panic, what happens is that their breathing gets really shallow.
Psychologist Markowitz arms students with breathing techniques.
So working with the breath.
A bit of self-hypnosis and how to escape to a safe place in the mind.
Really inhale the aroma of this place of safety.
So, this is the engine.
Then it's time to meet the monster of their fears up close.
Feel how heavy these things are?
Solid.
You know.
Solid.
A big part of this course is learning from experienced pilots the ins and outs of how planes are flown.
Lift in the cockpit. Use the control yoke or the stick to move the elevator to go up or down.
The class boards a plane to nowhere. Their fears bubble up to the surface.
Can you do a comfort check, please?
I almost stopped breathing.
The pilots show them the cockpit.
Scary.
And the thumps and bangs and whumps of a plane in flight are explained.
Just on that
there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, and that's that noise.
Tomorrow, the real thing.
Yes.
7 miles visibility. Looks pretty good.
Today, this room full of nervous students are booked on 1469 to La Crosse. The time has come to fly.
They're firing at the moment. This is it. This is the real show right now.
There's nothing like people who are in the same boat going through something together and conquering a fear that gets them through.
Francine is optimistic.
Because I know what the sounds are that terrified me before.
You gonna be all right? If I'm gonna be all right, you gotta be all right.
So this is it. After 2 days of preparation, it's the moment of truth as 11 very anxious people board an airplane to confer of flying.
The tension builds, but no one gets up to leave.
Thank you for joining us. Sit back and enjoy the flight.
I'm pumping now.
From takeoff to landing in La Crosse, flight time is 26 minutes.
How's your heart?
Those handful of minutes are an eternity for Gary, Francine, and their classmates. The class checks their emotions.
I've been hysterical, but he's helping me down a little bit.
Actually, if you could, you'd rather not fly back.
No, I don't want any turbulence.
But Francine does make the return flight. Ruth is there to comfort her.
Just do one breath at a time. But keep calming yourself. The plane is doing what it needs to do.
Slowly, panic gives way to a feeling of control.
We're there. That was much better. Much better. That was good.
With a little courage, Gary and Francine are on their way to changing their lives.
So I'll do it again. I will.
I don't think I would have been able to face it if I didn't have that support from everybody. So I thank y'all guys. Appreciate it.
Strong winds and even tornadoes tore down grand old trees in a matter of minutes last Friday. Tonight, many homeowners in the middle cleaning up, but good luck finding a tree service to clear away the downed limbs. Channel 5's Bob McNaney is live in Shoreview tonight. Bob?
Chris, $1,200 is what it cost to get this tree cleaned up, and it was not paid for by insurance money. It was expensive for this homeowner. It's exactly this kind of expense that literally has sent one man into the limbs of his damaged tree, risking his own neck to get it out of there.
Gotta figure out how to get up here to get this wrench. If anybody's watching, don't do this. This is really stupid. But I'm doing this just to save some money.
Steve Howlitz doesn't want to be 25 feet off the ground clutching a chainsaw, but the pros want several $100s to bring the tree down. His homeowner's insurance doesn't cover tree removal.
It'll cover trees damaged by explosions, lightning, and then if it hits your house, if this would have hit the house, they would have come out and took it off the house and laid it in the yard.
Steve lost 9 trees in the storm, but he says he lost much more.
They were growing back in our lifetime. Well, yeah, it used to be shade. Now, my wife and I, we'd look out the door, and we'd never seen the rainbow or the Montessori school because the trees were in the way. It was great. It was privacy. Now we're wide open. We see everything.
With fingers crossed, hoping he doesn't hurt himself or anyone else, Steve makes the final cut.
Perfect drop.
A perfect drop with a lot of worried neighbors. Well, it's about this simple. If the tree falls and doesn't hit anything, it's your responsibility to pay for the cleanup. But even if it hits something small like a fence, most policies will pay for that fence to be repaired and the tree removal. Chris?
Before people start screwing up their trees, cutting them down unnecessarily, how do you know if it is in fact so badly damaged that it needs to come down?
Well, we talked to the forestry division of the DNR today, and they say the rule of thumb is pretty simple. If a third of the tree is damaged or already chopped off by the wind, then the whole tree has to come down. It gets into disease, all kinds of problems. But basically, if you've lost a third of the tree, you have to cut the whole thing down.
All right, Bob, thanks.
That jackpot just keeps
Now, back here in the Twin Cities, many people in Bloomington also felt the strength of the storms. The wind blew out windows on several homes. Channel 5's Mike Binkley is live. Mike?
Chris, a lot of those homes in Bloomington have boards nailed up to them tonight, and everywhere you look in this city, you see wet leaves just pasted against the homes and cars and buildings. You know, there was so much hail in this storm, you can still get shovels full of it tonight. This is a Bloomington car lot getting pounded by the hail that moved through this afternoon.
Yeah, my window's messed up.
It took out a lot of windows throughout Bloomington.
Scary. This one was scary.
Windows on all 3 floors of this apartment building were shattered.
Just pounding and
so were most of the front of his house.
And these windows were blown out. Glass was all over. I had hail just piled up in that corner.
Look at the hail piled up in a Bloomington shopping center, about 1.5 feet thick. Leaves are thick, too. One man used a snow shovel to clear them all from his driveway.
That's what we've been picking up.
Meanwhile, a woman checked out the hundreds of dents in the siding.
It looks like someone hammered it with a hammer, just went everywhere and just got it.
And that woman is actually house sitting for a family that's vacationing in Ireland. They're going to come back to a very big cleanup project. They also had broken windows too, Chris.
And I also understand it wasn't all that easy driving around Bloomington tonight for you, was it?
Well, it really wasn't right after the storm because of the flash flooding. I mean, a tremendous amount of rain came down in a very short period of time. And also, seriously, with all the leaves that fell, they were like this thick in some of the roads. Police were laying down flares in major intersections just to warn people about all.
Pretty startling pictures, Mike. Thank you very much. We started keeping an eye on this storm.